is used outside. That's expensive stuff.
Looking at a lease. Elise, when we're done there, we want to check your chair height over by Jessica,
Okay.
so we don't have any embarrassing height issues. You okay with the lease? Great, come on back and we'll get your height.
Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in New York City, this is CBS 2 News at 11.
Right now, where's the weapon? Police intensifying their search for a gun used to kill one of their own, and it could affect your drive. Less testing, more learning. President Obama's call to overhaul classrooms across the country. But first, the Mets on the move as their championship chase shifts to Kansas City. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Schneider in tonight for Cindy Hsu. In just a few hours, the Mets will leave Queens and fly out to Missouri for the World Series. We are now 3 days away from Game 1 against the Royals. And CBS 2's Steve Overmeyer begins our coverage with who will take the mound first.
Yeah, and that is the big story here with the Mets right now. And it really has been a dream season for this Mets team. A trip to the World Series really a year before they were expected to be contenders. And now they know their opponent will be a scrappy Kansas City team. The Mets are flying out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., so today was their final workout at Citi Field. We found out the Mets ace Matt Harvey will start Game 1 of the World Series. In 12 innings this postseason, he has 16 strikeouts, and most importantly, 2 wins. He is the kind of guy who wants the ball because he likes to rise to the occasion.
I called them all in today, gave them all the reasons, and told them what the rotations were. And I said, turned him around, I said, "You ready for it?" And he looked at me and he said, "Damn right." So, and I told him, "Listen, there might be, obviously you're going to get 2 starts, but Game 7 may be something." He said, "I'll be ready."
Harvey and the Mets pitching staff will certainly have their hands full with the Royals lineup. Casey doesn't lead the majors in homers, but Jessica, later in sports, we're going to tell you why it's so important they are #1 in one overlooked category.
So it could be a tough opponent.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thanks so much, Steve. Well, we didn't find out until early this morning the Mets would actually face the Royals, but one Mets fan apparently knew way back in April. CBS 2's Matt Kozar continues our team coverage from Citi Field now. Matt.
If that person only had a crystal ball. Well, the Mets players will be gathering here at Citi Field in just a few hours. They'll be hopping on buses and they will head to Kansas City. That is their destination. Jessica, the World Series just 3 days away. The excitement is building at the Mets clubhouse shop on 42nd Street.
I've been a Mets fan, through my dad and brother all my life. I live 10 minutes away from Citi Field, so it's exciting for Flushing, for Queens, for New York.
Swung on and missed, strike 3! The team's success is building a global fan base. Frank Sotil is bringing his Mets gear back to Australia.
We've been here a week, so we saw the first few games against the Cubs. And they played really well, so yeah, we're looking forward to the World Series.
Talk to any Mets fan and they'll predict certain victory for the Amazons. But if anyone had a crystal ball, it might be tech writer and editor Steve Kovac, who accurately predicted a Royals-Mets World Series in this tweet back on April 23rd. No tweet yet on who he thinks will win. For Mets rookie outfielder Michael Conforto, who started the season playing in the minor leagues, this will be his 3rd World Series. Sort of. As an 11-year-old, he competed in the 2004 Little League World Series and also in the 2013 College World Series when he played for Oregon State. Both ended in losses. So, 3rd time's a charm? Well, let's hope so. If you want to come to Game 3 here in Queens, we just looked online for tickets. The cheapest ticket we could find, $500, and that's standing room only. If you want to sit down up in the nosebleeds, that'll cost you $700. Reporting live from Citi Field, Matt Kozar, CBS 2 News.
Thanks so much, Matt. New video tonight of police on boats in the East River searching for the weapon used to shoot and kill an NYPD officer earlier this week. It is, of course, a key piece of evidence in this case. Search teams have been looking for the weapon nonstop, and now they're prepared to shut down the FDR to find it. Traffic in both directions will come to a halt tomorrow on the FDR from 96th Street to 132nd Street. The closure is scheduled between 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. as police investigate the murder of Officer Randolph Holder.
We come together so no mother, like young Officer Holder's mom, has to be without their son.
Dozens gathered Saturday in front of the East Harlem Police Station where Officer Holder worked to demand an end to violent acts like the one that took his life. The mother of Eric Garner was there showing support. Her son died in a confrontation with police.
He has a family, just like I had a family. He has a family. They're hurting, and they need support.
The suspected shooter, Tyrone Howard, is a convicted felon, but was able to avoid jail time.
I'm a progressive person. I am a humanitarian, but I can also tell you some people are irredeemable.
Mayor de Blasio taking a strong stand Friday, saying career criminals like Howard should remain locked up. PBA President Patrick Lynch penned an op-ed Saturday saying officers need support all the time, writing in part, police officers want City Hall to be our partner in keeping New York safe, but that partnership can't succeed if the only time officers feel their efforts are supported and their contributions valued is when one of us has made the ultimate sacrifice.
How about a question about Patrick Lynch's op-ed piece?
Sorry guys, you can email the press office. We'll get to you later today.
The mayor wouldn't answer our questions on camera earlier today, but later his office released a statement stating in part, Mayor de Blasio has hired 1,300 new officers to support NYPD and enhance safety for all neighborhoods, making NYC the safest large city in the country. And crime stats from the NYPD show the city's murder rate is up 8.3% compared to just a year ago. In Texas tonight, heavy rains from what once was Hurricane Patricia pummeling the Lone Star State, which is under a flash flood watch. Cars became submerged and houses were buried under those raging waters. A creek overflowed about 50 miles south of Dallas, washing away railroad tracks, which caused a freight train to derail and then overturn. 2 crew members had to swim to safety. Hurricane Patricia, which peaked as the strongest hurricane on record in the Western Hemisphere, it made landfall Friday on a sparsely populated stretch of Mexico's Pacific coast as a Category 5 storm. The record-breaking storm, though, did remarkably little damage. Tonight, Mexican officials are assessing that damage. Some areas are dealing with flooding, downed trees, and landslides, but so far there have been no reported deaths. And meteorologist Elise Finch has more now on Patricia, how it could affect us here. Elise.
Well, Jessica, we are looking at the track of this system, right? So here is the historic track. It showed it. This thin line here shows how it strengthened out over the water because the water's so incredibly warm. And of course, all hurricanes weaken as they move over land. The mountains in Mexico actually just serve to really just tear the storm apart. So right now we're looking at the remnant low, and it's got 30-mile-an-hour winds moving northeast at 22 miles per hour. Of course, the rain with this system is now the big issue, especially as it moves across Texas and into Louisiana. So we are expecting some significant rainfall, more flooding rain into Texas and into Louisiana. Of course, we could tap into a little bit of this moisture, but the rain that's heading our way is from a front. So that is going to give us a chance for some showers late tonight, early tomorrow. And of course, I'll have more coming up in your full forecast. Jessica?
All right. Thanks, Elise. A developing story in Oklahoma tonight. Chaos at a college homecoming parade leaves 4 people dead, including a child. As CBS 2's Brian Webb reports, now a driver is under arrest as a community comes together to grieve.
Victims were treated in the middle of Main Street after a car plowed into a parked police motorcycle, then crashed into a crowd of spectators at a high rate of speed a few blocks from campus.
We can kind of hear a little screaming and sound like a vehicle accelerating, and luckily this car hit a big pole. I think would hurt a lot more people.
At least 4 people were killed. Dozens more were injured. Some victims were airlifted to hospitals in Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
The Oklahoma State Homecoming Parade is probably one of the most wholesome, happy events in the country. And to have it fouled like this and these victims, this terrible tragedy.
25-year-old Stillwater resident Adacia Chambers is in jail, charged with driving under the influence. Authorities don't know if the incident was an accident or intentional.
We treat these like we would any homicide investigation. It will probably take several days to get additional information.
The homecoming game was played as scheduled just a few hours after the incident, with stadium flags flying at half-staff and a moment of silence in honor of the victims. In New York, Brian Webb, CBS 2 News.
New information now on that fire that destroyed an historic New Jersey synagogue. Investigators said today they believe the fire was accidental. Flames moved quickly and left little behind at the Polei Zedek synagogue. A caretaker was the only one inside the nearly 100-year-old building yesterday when that fire started. He managed to get out safely, but several Torah scrolls were destroyed in the blaze. Tonight, one of the rabbis says a firefighter helped him rescue just one of those sacred scrolls.
Took out the first Torah, and after that, I gave it to the firefighter who brought it out. I was ready to take out the second, another one that I could carry out, when
the chandeliers just came smashing down.
It is still unclear at this point exactly what caused the fire. Well, President Obama wants students to put their pencils down, how he's reforming standardized testing, and why some people are against his proposal. Plus,
It upset me because I treat my dog like it was my own kid.
a man's dog injured by a driver. See his sign for speeders. That is getting a lot of attention. And back with the Jets, big news from Steve Weatherford before tomorrow's big game against the Patriots. And canines in costume. Pooch is on parade just 1 week before Halloween.
If she, I just think on the heels of what she did over at Gray's, I just don't think she can afford to do that. I think they're going to come to her house and beat her if she does that.
President Obama saying kids are spending too much time on standardized tests, and he's urging schools to scale back. CBS 2's Dave Carlin has more on the change of course. Dave.
Learning is about so much more than just filling in the right bubble.
In a video posted on Facebook, President Obama acknowledged standardized testing problems in public schools and wants it capped at 2% of classroom time. He is urging schools to pull back.
So we're going to work with states, school districts, teachers, and parents to make sure that we're not obsessing about testing.
I do agree, actually, with what he's saying. There are kids that really don't test very well. It stresses them out.
It shouldn't have to determine what college you go to. I'm judged on this test, and I just don't think it's fair.
A typical American student takes 112 mandated standardized tests between pre-K and 12th grade, but most countries outperforming the U.S. on international exams, like China and Korea, test students only 3 times during their entire school careers. The debate stems from President George W. Bush's No Child Left Behind law and intensified with new Common Core tests, which led to opt-out movements across the country. Some educators warn against going too far with reforms, saying the tests help schools expose weaknesses and redirect resources, and they worry about the cap. Michael Casserly is executive director of the Council of the Great City Schools.
It's very possible that depending on what is under the cap and what is over the cap, you could actually have less time on testing, but it'd be about as dysfunctional as it is now.
The president and education secretary will outline this plan on Monday when they meet with a group of teachers and school officials. Jessica.
All right, thanks, Dave. A health alert tonight. Whole Foods is recalling bulk and packaged classic deli pasta salad and curry chicken salad. The company says the products could be contaminated with listeria. Both were sold in stores in several states, including New York and New Jersey, between October 18th and 22nd. They have a sell-by date of October 25th, but so far, no illnesses have been reported. A sign put up by a New Jersey man is turning heads. Kevin Jackman lives in Middletown, New Jersey. He says people use Dutchess Avenue to beat traffic when nearby Route 36 is blocked. Part of the sign he placed in his yard lets people know his dog got hit by a car last week and he's asking drivers to slow down. The other part of the sign is something he saw on Facebook.
If a kid gets struck by a car, your family would be burying you. It's just to put a spook into people. It's just to give a little scare, to have people slow down and think.
And no word on how effective that sign has been, but as for his dog Bailey, he has bounced back, as you can see, and is all better. An airport maintenance worker really wanted some selfies, but where he took the photos has landed him in big trouble. The Swissport contractor was caught taking selfies on the wings of two planes at Boston's Logan Airport on Thursday. He was escorted off the tarmac and his security badge was taken away. The American Airlines and JetBlue planes were inspected then for damage. Massachusetts State Police says the worker wasn't arrested and his employer will decide if he will be disciplined. Now to Elise Finch with your exclusive CBS 2 forecast, what we can expect for the rest of the weekend. Elise.
Well, we are looking at the clouds moving in and, of course, the rain as well. So temperatures warming up. We've got the clouds and we've got the rain, but all is not lost for your Sunday. I'll get to that in just a second. First up, though, let's check in with some of our weather watchers and see what kind of conditions they are experiencing out there so far tonight. Temperatures have been warming up as the evening moves on. So as we get started on Long Island, you can see we've got a lot of these temps that are in the 50s. This is John in Patchogue. He says it's 53 degrees where he is. It's a tiny bit warmer as we head a little bit south and west. This is Michael. He's in Staten Island, on Staten Island. He says it's 56 degrees. He also says this is the warmest it's been all day. Well, you know what, Michael? You were absolutely right. We've had some other folks calling in, including our friend Joey from Massapequa. It is his birthday, so happy birthday to Joey. And take a look. You take a live look outside. I mean, things look pretty good out there. We do have cloudy conditions. It's a cool 56, but as our weather watchers are pointing out, it's basically the warmest it's been all day, and we're hitting this at 11:19 at night. So we do have a little rain tonight, some sunshine tomorrow, but not until the afternoon. And then temperatures, even though they warm up tomorrow, kind of drop again for your Monday, so it's a chilly start to the work week. 56 degrees. Our current temperature is also the high temperature on the day, right? So our weather watcher is saying this is the warmest it's been all day. You are correct. 61 is where we should be. 56 is as warm as we get today. And of course, we're hitting that pretty late in the day, nowhere near the record of 79 degrees. We've got a lot of cloud cover out here. We also are finally starting to see some of this rain edging its way into the tri-state area. So here's the bigger picture. It shows you the front along which we're seeing that rain. So here's the setup, right? So we've got this rain that's coming through. We are going to see a little bit of a surge in warm air. We've got this warm front here, so a little bit of a surge in warm air in advance of that rain. So what we're seeing is a boost in the temperatures. We're starting to see that already. We'll see the rain move in as well. You take a look at your future cast, you can see the bulk of that rain starts to push through about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then we'll continue to see a chance for some rain through early Sunday morning. By late morning, it starts to dry out. This is not a huge soaking, and certainly by Sunday afternoon, not only do we get some clearing, but we start to see some sunshine as well. So your Sunday afternoon actually turns out to be very nice. Overnight tonight, we've got the cloudy skies, the late showers that have already started. We are going to see those temperatures right around 52. So the high tomorrow, 65. So we start out with the clouds and the showers, but we do get some early clearing. So early afternoon is going to look a lot better. So if you can hold off your outdoor activity until then, it'll certainly pay off. 65 is your high for Sunday, 58 for Monday, so you can see the back and forth. We have another chance for rain on Wednesday with a high of 63. Temperatures this week, basically upper 50s, low 60s. We do have a couple chances for rain, and we need it. We have an 8-inch deficit on the year.
Yeah, looking good, though. Looks like a good week ahead. Thanks so much, Elise. Well, today's weather was just right for an annual Halloween tradition. Hundreds of costume dogs and their decked-out owners came out for the 25th annual Tompkins Square Park Dog Parade. New York's premier pet parade is all about costumes and creativity. The day just, of course, wouldn't have been complete without that guy there, Pizza Rat sighting, and of course, Donald Trump, yes, out there barking up some votes. Quite a sight there. Well, still ahead, how Rutgers did today against the top school in the country, and reaction from the Mets clubhouse as they look toward the World Series. Steve Overmeyer on deck with sports next. And the excitement is building this time tomorrow night. The Mets will be all settled at their hotel in Kansas City. Steve Overmeyer here with your CBS 2 WFAN Sports Update.
Maybe still on cloud nine right now, this entire Mets squad, and with good reason, as we prepare for the Mets in the World Series. And by the time they take the field in Kansas City on Tuesday, it's actually going to be 5 days off. We just hope that that's not too much time, because teams with 5 days off have lost 5 of the last 6 World Series. Today, they finished up their final workouts at Citi Field. We did find out that they will be setting up their rotation. Matt Harvey will get the ball in Game 1, partly to give Jacob deGrom a little extra rest, mainly because Harvey steps up, though, on the biggest stage. deGrom will go in Game 2, followed by Noah Syndergaard and Steven Matz. The Mets starters have the best ERA and the best strikeouts, and they strike out the most batters. But the Royals are experts at putting the ball in play. Their contact percentage was #1 in baseball this year.
Our guys strike people out. So if we're not striking people out, we better catch the baseball. So now we got to really, as I just said, we've really got to make sure, defensively, we got the right people there. But I still think we'll strike some people out because I think our guys got good stuff.
It's a really good club. They, the term I would use for they seem relentless. They never stop coming, which is what a great characteristic to have for a ball club.
They're a competitive, fiery bunch. I think kind of like our guys. It just seems like they kind of never go away. It seems like they always find a way to win. They never die, and I think that's a tremendous compliment for a team. So we're going to have our hands full.
All right, now to the ice, and it doesn't matter that it's early in the NHL season. Anytime the Rangers and the Flyers hit the ice, it is going to be fast, hard-hitting, attacking. It is Broadway versus Broad Street, a rivalry game down in Philly. And as expected, Henrik Lundqvist is making plays to start this season. His goals against average is 2 through the first 7 games. He had 46 saves against the Flyers. Both teams go into a shootout. It came down to Dominic Moore against Steve Mason. Denied. Rangers fall by 1, 3-2 in a shootout. Devils in Buffalo tonight looking for their 4th straight win. The Jersey boys are 7th in the NHL in power plays, but that's not supposed to include shorthanded goals. Adam Henrique scoring his 6th of the season, which ties him for most in the league. The Devils hang on to beat the Sabres by a final of 4-3. Islanders trying to pick up a win in St. Louis, first time in 10 years. Both squads among the best so far this year in shots per game. St. Louis actually outshot them by 18, but New York got the goal that counted. Michael Grabowski in overtime as the Isles skate away with a 3-2 victory. All right, top rank and defending champion Ohio State has looked a little shaky at sometimes this year. They were looking for a statement game. They made a quarterback change, and I guess it worked against Rutgers because right now they lead the Knights 49-0 late in the 4th quarter. And you probably couldn't tell by the record, but Army's playing a lot better than that 2-6 record starts. 6 of their games decided by 7 points or less. They were matching blow for blow with Rice, but they just left enough time on the clock for Rice to orchestrate the game-winning touchdown with 24 seconds left. Army loses another close one, 38-31. And welcome back to the NFL. Steve Weatherford, the former Giants and Jets punter, has re-signed with the Jets. He made the announcement actually as he was doing his radio show this afternoon. He could be just there for 1 week, but congratulations, Weatherford, back in the NFL. That game is 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Good
right
for
here.
him. All right, we'll be right back. And that does it for CBS 2 News at 11. For the entire CBS 2 News team, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night, everyone.